Hi everybody and welcome back to another pregnancy video. Today we are going to be bringing you week 36 and hopefully I can get through this a little bit quicker than normal because my two kids are still up running around and I need to start busting out these videos because, well, I'm 36 weeks and I will be induced by 39 weeks due to complications with hypertension, and they honestly don't know that I'm even going to make it that far. So trying to get out these videos, making sure that I update you guys on the pregnancy. In week 36, according to the Bump app, baby is the size of a papaya. Baby is measuring 18.7 inches and 5.73 pounds. Baby's getting closer and closer to being able to breathe on his or her own. Baby's skin is getting smooth and soft and the gums are rigid. Baby's liver and kidneys are in working order. As for expectations for your body for week 36, better ability to breathe as baby may soon be descending into your pelvis, giving your lungs some extra space. Pelvic discomfort for the same reason, difficulty sleeping, and more heartburn, and ankle and foot swelling. I can tell you guys that baby has definitely dropped. Baby is so low. We've been able to confirm that through ultrasound, but I can also feel that baby is really low. If you're new, then you probably don't already know this, but if you've been following along, you guys know that in my ultrasound, the baby is measuring approximately 2-ish weeks ahead. But they actually think the baby's like almost 2 pounds too big. And at my 36-week appointment, they have discovered that my uterus is measuring 3 weeks behind. So things are really tight in there. There's a 5-week difference between what my uterus thinks is going on and what the baby thinks is going on. So my uterus is really only measuring between 32 and 33 weeks. And baby is measuring at almost or over 38 weeks. This is unusual for me as my other two were smaller. Madeline was born at 7.8 or 7 pounds 8 ounces at exactly 39 weeks. And Kaylee was born at 7 pounds 1 ounces at exactly 39 weeks. And they're expecting this baby to already be larger than those two. This week has just really been a lot of discomfort. I am in so much pain with my hips and my pelvic bone. My right hip will actually lock up to the point where I either can't get my legs to be straight. So if I'm sitting like I am now, right now I'm sitting Indian style with my legs crossed because that is honestly the most comfortable way for me to sit. But when I go to get up, I might not be able to make my leg get straight, if that makes sense. Like right now it's bent, it looks like this, and I won't be able to get my legs to straighten out so I can stand up. It makes things very difficult, especially when you have two toddlers, and my youngest right now is in that super defiant mode where you're like, don't do that, and she gets that smirk on her face and she's like, oh, I'm gonna do that. And she does it because she knows she's not supposed to. And so she is just tearing through the house like a tornado. And there's times where I have to get up like so quickly to stop her from doing something that might injure her or that might break something. And I like cannot get up to go do it. It really sucks. And it's not even that I can't get up because it hurts. It's that I physically am unable to move that portion of my body, regardless of if it hurt. If it didn't hurt at all, I still wouldn't be able to move that portion of my body. I am still very short of breath, but I have asthma and the baby is bigger than usual with, like I said, not as much space in there. So things are getting really tight. But I can also breathe a little bit better because baby has dropped, so it's kind of like this contradicting thing. Like sometimes I can breathe, sometimes I can't breathe, but generally I feel very out of breath. And when I do something in heat, like if I take a really hot shower or if I'm out in the sun, it seems to really take effect on my body. And I get dizzy, I get nauseous, I get lightheaded. I really just don't want to do anything that has to do with the heat or being outside, which really sucks because I want to take my kids outside even though it's been disgusting outside. It's just been like, I feel like it's been raining for like 4 years. I'm in Pennsylvania, southern Pennsylvania, and it seriously just hasn't stopped raining. But even on the days where it's warm, I still don't like I want to take my kids out, but I have to sit in the shade and I have to be sitting. I can't be standing chasing them around. Due to the excess release of relaxin, which is a chemical that starts to loosen your muscles and let your hips widen, you start producing that early on, but my body has like an overproduction of this, and that is what causes me to have a lot of the hip pain and the pelvic pain and everything else. Due to that, I am like cracking, like, I don't know, I just cracked my fingers, but like, I mean, I can continuously just crack my bones over and over because they're just loosening so much, and then I can just crack them and they go back and then like they loosen up again. So my neck, I just cracked it, but I don't want to like freak people out. I know there's people out there that like cannot watch people cracking their neck, but I wake up in the morning and I like tilt my head and it's like every single bone from the top down to the bottom will crack, and it's not like these little teeny weeny cracks. It is like these loud, monstrous pops. So like if you're like a crackaholic, bone cracking, not the drug. But if you like to crack your bones or listen to people cracking their bones, I would be your favorite person on the planet right now. My chiropractor says it's fine. It's nothing to be really concerned about. I do have a crushed vertebrae in my neck from a boating accident. I had whiplash and it crushed one of my vertebrae, like not like into powder, but it's like squished down and it kind of like is cracked and it's not really broken. It does cause pain, but that's really the only thing I have to watch out for is that that bone there. And then I have scoliosis in my lower back that causes my ribs to be all twisted and all kinds of things. And I'm going and I'm getting all of my scans done and everything. So we are monitoring it, but as far as the actual like popping itself goes, he says it's nothing to be concerned about. It's just the extra release of these chemicals. I was hoping to get my Group B strep results back before filming this, but it's actually been a couple of days and I still haven't gotten my results back. Last time I got them back right away. This time I haven't gotten them back. It's going to be the tiebreaker. With my first baby, I was positive for Group B strep, and with Kaylee, my second, I was negative. And so I don't know what's going to happen this time. I know that like everybody at some point is positive and everybody at some point is negative, and it just kind of depends on what your body's doing at the time. And so we don't really know yet. The problem is that I wanted to get the results back to tell you guys about why, if it's positive for me, it becomes an issue, where for most people it's like not a big deal. When you test positive for Group B strep, you have to get 2 bags of penicillin before the baby comes out. And that is because when you have the bacteria all up in your area and the baby is pushing through, the baby can actually get that into their lungs. And if the baby gets the Group B strep into their lungs, they can develop pneumonia and they can get really sick. And so they basically give you 2 rounds of penicillin through an IV that kills off the bacteria so that when the baby comes out, they will not get sick. The problem is that they don't like to start the penicillin until you're at a certain point in the labor and delivery process to ensure that all the bacteria is gone and that there's no like regrowth or anything like that. So they usually start it, you know, closer to the halfway point or the end-ish point of your pregnancy. And for me, they thought that was going to be somewhere between 4 and 6 centimeters. So when I got my first bag, I think I was at like 4 or 5 centimeters. They gave me the first bag, and I actually had my daughter before I finished the first bag, so I never got the second bag. And that caused all kinds of problems because then she could have contracted all of these bacteria and she could have gotten pneumonia and all these different things. So they basically had to do a bunch of different blood cultures on myself and on her. We had to stay in the hospital an extra day, and they had to ensure that she was not reacting to the bacteria and that she hadn't contracted it. So for somebody like me, who like my first labor was only 6 hours and my second labor was only 4 hours, that is not long enough for me to get the penicillin So if I show up as positive this time, I may have to get penicillin before I actually start the induction, or they're going to have to monitor us again and kind of hope that she or he does not contract the bacteria, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's making sense to anybody who like hasn't been through that situation, but essentially I have babies far too quickly to get both bags of penicillin. I've been having a lot of contractions and a lot of that lightning crotch feeling, and it's not just like lightning crotch, it is like, I'll demonstrate. Let's just say you've got a replica Zelda Master Sword in your house for whatever reason that's broken, really broken, and you take it and you start having a contraction, and then this all of a sudden gets shoved up there. This is essentially what I feel like, is that this is just being shoved up in my area all day long, and this is pretty pointy. That would definitely hurt. That is kind of what it feels like. I had it with the other two, but it has been so bad with this one, and I don't know if that's just because they're expecting a larger baby, or if it's because the baby's big and my uterus is small and so there's not enough room, so when I have a contraction everything really gets packed down in there. I'm not really sure, but it's not fun. I'm not enjoying it, and every single time, like last night I was laying in bed and the baby, like I would have a contraction, the baby would push down really hard, and I'm like, my water's gonna break, my water's gonna break, my water is going to break. I don't know how I can have such an intense stabbing pain with so much pressure that it feels like the baby's head is halfway out and still my water hasn't broken. Like, I don't know how it stays intact, if that makes sense. Now, I haven't had an epidural with any of my pregnancies because I'm not allowed to have one, and when I get some of these contractions and there's so much pressure, it almost feels like the beginning of the Ring of Fire when you start pushing a baby out with no pain medication. Like the very, very like first push that you do where like it pushes the baby's head like right there and it starts like stretching things out. It kind of feels like that sometimes, and I'll be like walking and I'll be like, okay, nope, I can't walk right now because this baby is going to fall out. The only other thing that has really kicked in is the nesting, and it's kind of been an issue because it's like I'm kind of making messes all over my house because I'm trying to organize this one spot, and while I'm trying to organize it, I'm like moving everything over to this spot, and then this is good, and then I go to organize this, and then I move everything from here over to here, and it's like things are just getting pushed around. But as you can see, if you're familiar with the vlog and our channel, our room had all black furniture and now it has white furniture. Over the weekend we redid basically every room in this house, essentially. That is kind of the nesting phase I'm going through now. I don't need to buy anything. We already have everything. I already have diapers and wipes and everything for the baby. I already have all of the clothes, the nursery, everything, because everything's gender neutral. We don't find out the gender of our kids. So everything I have is gender neutral. We've been living in our house for over 2 years. Like, I don't need to do anything for the baby. I can just push the baby out now and be good to go. But now I feel like I'm just trying to redesign my house for whatever reason. Also, my hospital bag is packed, baby's bag is packed, pumps are sterilized, nipple shields are sterilized, everything is like totally done. I could have this baby any day and it would be fine. But for whatever reason, I just felt like I had to rearrange everything. I really feel like I need to crack all of my bones again. And so I think I'm going to end it here so I can go crack everything off screen and not freak anybody out. But I guess if you're somebody who really wants like an extreme pregnancy cracking video, leave a comment in the description down below. Maybe I can just crack all of my bones for you guys and you can sit there and we can do some like ASMR pregnancy bone cracking video of some sort. I don't know. I'll go ahead and show you a bump shot of baby number 3. See if I can even get up here. Our bed is memory foam, so hopefully I don't sink down too far. All right, here we go. So this is number 3. Oh boy, like I said, memory foam bed makes this very difficult. Okay, there we go. Baby number 3 is in there. So anyway, this is 36 weeks. Baby is supposedly over 7 pounds at this point, but my uterus is measuring around 32, 33 weeks. So I feel like I'm probably, I don't know, I feel like this is smaller. Like my uterus is smaller, or my fundal height or my belly or whatever is smaller than what it usually is. And I also think I'm much smaller than like the average person would be at this point, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not, and maybe I'm just like full of it. I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Please give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!